most amazing artists, and welcome back to our Monet water lilies. This is week 2. Last week we should have painted or colored a paper plate or even a piece of paper that you cut into a circle using Impressionist techniques. Remember, Impressionist artists would go outside. That's called en plein air. That is French for open air. They would go outside and they would paint outdoors, and their main goal was to capture certain moments in time. So as the light changed outside, if the sun was going behind a cloud and it got more shady, they would try to quickly capture that moment in time. So last week we should have painted this or colored it using the Impressionist mindset, going quick, going fast, not thinking too hard about it, and just capturing what we see. Okay, so here's this. This is going to be the actual lily pad for our water lilies. And today we're actually going to make the water lilies themselves. And I am going to be using these thin pieces of tissue paper. As you can see, I've cut all of my tissue paper into 3 different sizes. I've cut a large square, a medium-sized square, and a smaller square. The size of your flowers doesn't really matter too much. You can make them whatever size you want to. I just wouldn't make them too big to where they cover up most of your beautiful work that you did last week. So just keep that in mind as well. I love this tissue paper technique because not only is it fun, but it's also simple and easy to do. If you don't have tissue paper, then you can just use regular paper. Construction paper will work. I just like the thinner paper because I like the texture that it gives to our water lilies, but you can achieve the same thing using other kinds of paper as well. And if you don't have colored construction paper, then you can actually just take a regular piece of paper, maybe use a crayon or a marker, color it whatever colors you want to, and use that for your flowers. And you do not have to use the same colors as me. You can use whatever colors that you want to for your water lilies. Along with our tissue paper, you're also going to need our paper plate that we created last week. I am going to use some glue today, and I like to use a little glue cup filled with our just regular washable glue and a little cheap glue brush. That helps me control where my glue goes a little bit better. But if you don't have this set up, you can use a glue bottle or you can use a glue stick. If you don't have glue at all, you can even use tape. That is all you're going to need to create these beautiful water lilies. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm just going to set my paper plate off to the side. I'm going to work on my first flower. The first thing that we're going to do is choose a color from our larger square pile. Okay, so this is going to be kind of the back part of our flower. The largest part of our flower, so you can choose whatever colors you want to. I think I want to do this kind of maroony kind of color, and then I'm going to go to my medium squares. I'm going to see what color do I like the best with that dark purple that I have back there, and I like this kind of lilac color, a light purple color. And then you may have guessed it, you're going to take a smaller square, your smallest square, and put that right on top. Okay, and you can play around with the different colors. So maybe you want a pink center, maybe you want a white center, maybe you even want another dark purple. So totally up to you, but I think I want it to be nice and bright in the center of my flower, so I am going to use a white square. I have my larger square, my medium square, and my smaller square, and what I'm going to do is now we're going to take some glue because we have to glue these 3 pieces together. The way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to take a little dot of glue, and I'm going to take my medium piece here, and it just sticks right to the center there. Then I'm going to take one more little dot of glue and put that tissue paper right in the center there. Okay, now our tissue paper is nice and glued together, and what we're going to do is flip it over and use our fingers to start pinching where that glue was. So it's kind of right in the center, and I'm pinching it, and you can start crumpling it up on the sides and kind of manipulating your paper however you want to. I like scrunching it in a tiny little ball and then opening it back up to see my beautiful flower. And maybe it's not exactly the shape that you want, so you can just play around with it. And I am pretty happy with that. Oh, looks like mine came up, so you know what? If it starts to come apart, you can just take a little bit more glue, dab it right in the center, and glue them back together, okay? They might want to fall apart as you're crumpling, but once that glue dries, these 3 layers will definitely be all glued together. And look at that, isn't that a beautiful water lily? So now I am going to bring back my lily pad here that we made last time, and I want this water lily to go right here. So I'm just gonna put a little dot of glue wherever I want to put my flower, and I'm just gonna place it right there. Okay, you can crumple it a little bit more if you want to get it exactly the shape that you want. And there you go, there's our first water lily. And I don't have much space here, so I think I'm just gonna do 3 water lilies, but that just depends on how big your circle is. You might be able to fit more, you might only be able to fit 1 there, just depends, okay? So I'm gonna do 3, because I know next week we're actually going to make a little frog to be sitting onto our lily pad. So I want to make sure that I leave enough room for my little frog friend that I will make next week. So also keep that in mind as you are making your water lilies. Let's make another one. So just as a recap, you take a bigger square, place it down, and this time I want the back of my flower to be this light purple color, and then take a medium square, and I think I want to do a dark purple for the center of this flower. Okay, so big square down first, medium square down, and then the smaller square. Then we're going to take some glue, just a little dot will do, and glue my medium square right to my bigger square. One more little dot of glue, and then my tiny square will go on top. And once those are glued together, that glue is still a little bit wet, so it might fall apart, but just be careful with it. Tissue paper is very delicate anyway, so you need to be super careful that we don't rip it. And I just pinched it right in the center on the back side. Now I'm crumpling it up into a tiny little ball, and then I'm going to open it and see what we have. Oh yeah, that looks really pretty. I love these colors together. They look just gorgeous. And I'm going to manipulate it and shape it how I want it. And I like that. I think that looks really pretty. I'm going to bring over my lily pad, take a little dot of glue, and I think I want this water lily to go right here. Just a little dot, and then glue it to our lily pad. And you can still kind of scrunch it up. Just make sure you're being careful, because tissue paper is very, very fragile. And there we go, beautiful, 2 lilies done. Now I just have room for 1 more, and I think I'm gonna leave right in the center open for my little frog that we're gonna make next time. All right, here's my last lily, and I want it to be pink on the back. Then I'm gonna find a medium square, place it down, and 1 more small square right in the center. And yep, I like those 3 colors together, so I'm going to take a little dot of glue on my big square, place it down, put my medium square right on top of there. Just a little dot of glue is all you need, and then glue your smaller square to the medium square. Then we're going to take it from the back and pinch it right in the center. Just keep pinching it and scrunching it into a tiny little ball. And then we're going to carefully open it up and see what we got. Start manipulating that shape however you want your lily to look. All right, and I'm happy with that, so I'm going to bring over my lily pad, and I'm just going to put my last lily down here, put a little dot of glue, and place my lily right on top. And we can play around with the shape of your lilies after you glue them on too. There we go. There are my 3 water lilies on my lily pad. I made sure to leave a little space for my froggy friend that I'm going to make next time to put on my lily pad. All right, I hope you guys have a lot of fun creating your water lilies for our Monet lily pads. These are looking so amazing so far, and I can't wait to see yours after you put your lilies on. I know they're going to be amazing because you guys are amazing. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.